Bless you, Capricorn. Welcome back. I'm using a rose quartz this month. Which has been interesting because I've been getting to know everybody's emotional business. Oh, I'm gonna see my dream where everybody I love dies. Sorry. This is I use this as a dream journal, but it's also a planetary guide. So, early in the month, we've got Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn all in Capricorn. All these like mid to outer planets. Saturn in Capricorn is in its like sign. Capricorn and Saturn are like this. So that's good. And then let's see. How long that lasts. Jupiter's going direct on September 12th. So, before that, Jupiter's going to be retrograde in your sign. And there's just a lot of placements with Capricorn in Pluto and Saturn at looks like mostly favorable angles like trines, quincunx, sextile. Mostly. I'm trying to figure out when Jupiter is leaving your sign. There's some very... Okay. Excuse me. Sorry. There's some cool stuff going on for you this month. So, here we've got this Kazemi new moon in Virgo. But it's cool because Saturn in Capricorn and Pluto in Capricorn and Jupiter in Capricorn are all making some interesting angles to the moon and sun in Virgo. So even though these are Virgo placements in the sun and moon, your Capricorn placements are going to be bouncing off of that. So what we have here is Saturn in Capricorn is going to be trine to both the sun and moon on that day. And then you have Pluto in Capricorn is going to be trine also to the moon in Virgo. And then that Jupiter in Capricorn is square to Mercury in Libra. So that's interesting. I think that's the most exciting stuff that's going to be happening for you astrologically this month. Until on Wednesday, the 23rd, the moon is going to enter Capricorn. and it's going to be square to Sun in Libra. And it says that 2 hours after the square, which occurs at 6:55 p.m. on the west coast of the United States, is a good time to have fun. They give you like good times to do workings and stuff. And then the moon is going to be in Capricorn until Friday the 25th. And is there anything else? So then the moon is going to be in Pisces on Wednesday the 30th, and Pluto and Saturn in your sign are going to be sextile to that. And then on October 2nd, Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn are all going to be square to the moon in Aries in your sign. So Friday the 2nd is going to be an interesting day, possibly. It's a lot of different energies converging. What kind of energy would that be? Well, you've got Pluto and Saturn have very similar kind of mentalities, I guess. And then Jupiter being very like large and in charge kind of a guy. And Moon in Aries is kind of a more emotional, more childish energy, probably. Beginnings and stuff, so there's something that you're going to want to be getting off the ground on the 2nd, and I feel like you'll have an opportunity to do that. But possibly somebody's immaturity is going to be like exposing itself. I'm not an expert. I just know what I'm kind of picking up on, different energies. I'm not trying to be like a professional too much about it. I know much less about astrology than I know about the tarot, but I try to integrate it all together because I feel like it presents a better picture. And I've definitely got like an impression that I needed to pull out my ephemera this month and talk to you guys about different placements. But I do it in an intuitive way. I know, like, I've studied it, but I'm not looking at it in the purely mathematical sense of like, this is exactly what this means. So I've got my rose quartz. And I also have for scrying this month, I will be using this Mandrake Ointment. And it's got a very interesting feel to it. And this really incredible medicinal smell that really reminds me of something from my childhood that I can't quite pin down, can't quite figure out what it is. Alright, Capricorn, what are we looking at today? What is going on with you in September and October of 2020. That Kazemi moon, the Virgo new moon, is going to be a time when you can get some really important stuff done. What day was that again? The 17th, which is a Thursday. So you've got this Thursday, September 17th. And then, by that weekend, you're going to have gotten all of that stuff done that you were trying to accomplish. So I feel like that particular day, you're going to be running around doing a lot of stuff. And then by the weekend, you'll have it all knocked out. But it might be like, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then you've got quite a bit on your plate this month. I feel like there's circa, Circe, circular, some kind of cycle. Circa. Is that like the name of a place? Circuit. There was a scorpion goddess in ancient Egypt who was one of the 4. Let me get this right. The 4 sons of Horus each guard one of the canopic jars, which each hold like the heart, the intestines, different organs. I don't remember them offhand. I'm gonna look this up. I don't want to tell you stuff that isn't correct. And I promise this won't be too much of a tangent. Alright, perfect. So, Horus had these 4 sons, and in the afterlife, they each guard one part of the organs that were considered important for you to carry on in the next world. Imseti and Aset guard the liver, and Imseti, I believe, was the human. Yeah, okay. And then Happy had a baboon head or a baboon form. And we'll go into that in a minute, but I need to get through this part first. And then Happy was paired with Nephthys, and they guarded the lungs. Duamutef was jackal form, and then along with the warrior goddess Nath, guarded the stomach. And then there was Kebsunuf, who had a falcon form, and Circuit, who was the scorpion goddess, okay? Guards the intestines. And yeah, so she was a funerary goddess. goddess of fertility, nature, animals, medicine, magic, and healing venomous stings and bites. She was the deified form of the scorpion, and the offspring of Khnum, the creator god, who's associated with the ram, and Neith, the warrior goddess I just mentioned. Okay. So Meretseger, Aset, and Serket all have the power over venomous snakes and scorpions. And so we often see these Egyptian deities that have the animal head and then the human body. But I've read a school of thought within the past few years that the deity was depicted this way to show the duality, but it's not like if Tahuti showed up at your house that he would have the head of an ibis and the body of a human. Although they're deities, they can look technically however they want. But the idea was more that there was the human form and then there was the animal form. Now, why is this important for Capricorn in the month of September and October? Like food poisoning? She guards the intestines. There's some kind of like magical correspondence. It's like this scorpions in the intestines kind of thing going on. I'm not entirely sure. How does that pertain to Capricorn? Someone calling upon her power to create this disturbance for somebody else. Well, that's highly specific. Okay, so it's possible that for some of you out there, somebody is either tapping into that specific energy, or that you can tap into that specific energy and combat some kind of intestinal issue that you've been having. It could be if you're cross-watching for Capricorn too. I feel like there's Capricorn out there that might be prepossessed with this kind of behavior. Which I hate to say that because most of the people who watch these videos, I think you're really wonderful and sweet people, and I love reading your comments. So that's probably not for very many of you. I think there's probably a handful of cross-watchers that could pertain to. And then for Capricorn, it's the Capricorns themselves, sun, moon, and rising sign. Serket. Does she also have something to do with the cycles of the sun? Or are we also talking about a Scorpio here? I'm gonna get to the bottom of this. Sorry. I'll give it like one more minute and then circuit time of year. She who causes the throat to breathe. Healing magic. So it's also possible for some of you that you are dealing with some kind of health issues, and you could call upon Circuit, Lady of the Beautiful Tent, which would be the embalming tent. Became closely associated with death and the souls of the deceased. No mythological tales extant of her origins. She was present at the creation of the world, but there's not a lot known about her role in that. And she was a symbol of motherhood in the prehistoric period of Egypt. Okay, so another thing is that, like, for some of you, instead of the 4 archangels, you could be calling on Aset, Nephthys, Nebdet, Neith, and Serket instead of Raphael, Michael, Gabriel, and Uriel. And that seems not quite as specific. She didn't really have like cult status, like her own temples. Was more likely absorbed like into the powers of Neith and possibly Hathor as well. And scorpion stings were like really common and were often fatal to young children. So she who causes the throat to breathe is like directly related to that. Alright, we're almost done here, I promise. So, yeah, she often is seen as keeping scorpions away from mothers and children. And then yeah. Okay, wait. There's one more thing. Let me see if I can find it. The rites of Serket. Okay, so she did have her own cult. And they were all physicians, and they were all known as the followers of Serket. Men and women could practice medicine and perform the rites of Serket. And that was in the Per Ankh, the House of Life. They would list the symptoms and decide whether they had the skill to treat that condition. And then he would, if they could, they would then prescribe the treatment. But it was like the order of how things go. And not every physician was a follower of Serket, but a lot of them were. Yeah, here we go. So a lot of these protection spells against scorpions would invoke various wives of Horus. And it suggested that those names were all placeholders for Serket, actually. Someone approaches me. It is not I who approach you. It is Webet Sepu, wife of Horus, who approaches you. And then the first person replies, You poisons, come forth to me. I am Serket. You poisons, come forth to me. I am Serket. So, alright, is there anything else here? And then when Serket says that final line, all the poisons are supposed to leave the body. Yes, I promise I'm still scrying. Alright. And her powers of healing would have been invoked no matter which aspect she was named as, or what other goddesses were called upon. So I feel like okay, that's all of it. You poisons, come forth to me, I am Serket. I'll add that to my home screen so I can link it in the description. I hope that wasn't boring. That was what I needed to tell you about that. Okay. Yeah. So for some of you, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising, I feel like there's going to be some health issues that you're running into, possibly. And that, that it's something that if you're the kind of person who works with many different deities and spirits and energies, that you might be called upon to work with Serket in order to heal either someone else or yourself. Yeah, I'm getting that pretty strongly. Is there anything else that I need to tell the Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising about September and October? No, it's just that, and it might not come up this month, but you should start building a relationship with that deity, with that goddess, and learning more about the discernment process, because there's a discernment process as far as the diagnosis is concerned of the patient that you're going to go through with her, and then she will tell you how to treat the patient, and you can work together to treat this person. And I feel like it's not, if this were like a cancer diagnosis or it could be a heart condition. I'm not recommending that you be a doctor, okay? If this is, something mild, like somebody's like, oh, my stomach hurts, I recommend, if it's something minor, like an upset stomach or, a hangnail or something, that's one thing. But they mentioned in the article specifically about angina, which is a heart condition. And it may be that you kind of get an awareness through this relationship with Circuit about a health condition like that. And if that's the case, that's cool or whatever. But it's important to, if you really feel like there's a health issue going on, that it needs to be treated by a medical professional. And I certainly am not, by way of this video, condoning treating a serious medical condition like that at home with magic. But I am going to convey the message that I'm receiving, and it was specifically about that goddess and about, it could be like IBS symptoms or something that are flaring up too. Something like that. But if you feel like it's really serious, you should take it to a medical professional. But there is going to be like a discernment. And it might be something where you are self-diagnosing, something like an intestinal distress. And you would then be able to work with Circuit as far as like discernment toward a diet or a form of treatment that could make your life easier. But again, if you feel like it's outside of your scope, you should take it to a medical professional. Yeah. Whew. I hope that was a little bit relaxing. I think that's the Capricorn reading for September and October. And that seems pretty specific to someone. But yeah, just putting that out there. I hope that you enjoyed this reading. Let me know in the comments if you did. I hope that you'll consider liking, sharing, subscribing to my channel. I really love seeing you guys month after month. It means a lot to me that you guys take part in what I'm doing here. And I really appreciate the support. Thank you for stopping by. I hope you have a great month, and I will see you again very